We have a massive Avalanche update, which will have fans fired up as we look ahead to Game 7 of Round 1 of the Stanley Cup playoffs, where the Avs will face the Stars in a win-or-go-home scenario after a absolutely insanely fought series between Colorado and Dallas. We're knotted up at 3-3. It's been an absolutely electric series between these two teams. Everyone's been playing, fighting extremely hard. A lot of emotion involved with the return of the captain, Gabriel Landeskog, as well as Mikko Rantanen. But this update we have is going to fire these fans up and get everybody ready to go for hopefully a Game 7 victory, and as well as a continued success in the remainder of the Stanley Cup playoffs as we look ahead to the next rounds. Before we dive into this big update that we have today, I want to remind you to make sure that you're subscribed to Avs Digest here on YouTube. We are at 87 subscribers, 13 away from this brand new channel, hitting 100 subscribers, continuing to try to grow the fastest growing place to get your daily and most consistent Colorado Avalanche news. We're covering everything Colorado Avalanche hockey, and we're giving it to you daily, consistently, and accurately, might I add. So please make sure you're subscribed to Avs Digest here on Digest Media. If you're not, exit out of this video, hit that subscribe button, and a reminder as well, you can check us out on Spotify and Apple Podcasts as well. Just search up Avalanche Digest in the search bar, and you can listen to these episodes in podcast format as well. So please subscribe. We appreciate your support here at Avs Digest, and let's dive into today's video. The massive update is here's a morning skate for Game 7 this morning, and Ross Colton is on the ice shooting around with the team. He is wearing a red non-contact jersey, but it's still amazing to see that Ross Colton is out and about skating and starting to feel like he can get back to a spot where he's able to play again, which would be amazing to have him back on the ice for the Avs. In the first game of the 7-game series, which it is going to Game 7, Ross Colton went out with a lower body injury and did not return for the remainder of the series. He played in Game 1, and we have not seen him back on the ice since. And playing on that second or third line, Ross Colton's been a huge asset to this Colorado Avalanche team so far this season. So getting him back for the remainder of the playoffs, if we are able to get out of Game 7 and beat the Stars in Dallas tonight, would be massive for the Colorado Avalanche roster. It'll continue to add to our depth and continue to just make this team as strong as possible. He's one of those two-way players where he's not only such a large asset defensively, but he's able to generate a lot of offense and really find us scoring opportunities for the Avs. So obviously, we need to get out of this series and hopefully beat Dallas tonight in a Game 7 victory. But if we're able to do so, Ross Colton is moving towards a scenario where we're going to probably be able to find him playing again very soon. Really great to see him in the non-contact jersey skating in Dallas this morning. Obviously, with a non-contact jersey on, that means he will not play in Game 7 this evening. But nonetheless, making progress to a recovery. That is Ross Colton, and very exciting to see him as well. On the other side of things, quick injury update. Miro Heiskanen, the star-studded defenseman for the Dallas Stars, as well as Jason Robertson, neither of them will return for Game 7 against the Colorado Avalanche. Heiskanen went out with a gruesome knee injury early in the season against Vegas, the Vegas Golden Knights, that is, where Mark Stone had a dirty hit against him, and he had a horrible knee injury, has not played since then. He has been skating and practicing with the team. There's been reports that he's feeling good, but he will not return for Game 7. So whether or not Colorado gets out of the series, no Heiskanen for the entirety of the first round of the playoffs, as well as Jason Robertson. This one a little bit more of an unfortunate story for the Dallas Stars. In Game 82, Robertson goes out with a knee injury as well, and is in a brace and has not played a single game with Dallas in this in this round 1 series either. So those two players will not return for the final game of the series. Obviously, Dallas has been able to pick up a lot of steam and not necessarily struggle too much without neither of those players. But it all comes down to Game 7. And as we look into tonight's Game 7, now that we've talked about Ross Colton and the potential of his return in the next round, let's talk a little bit about some of the implications that have to do with tonight's Game 7 and how that affects the Colorado Avalanche team, coaches, as well as the fan base, the very loyal Avs faithful who has been coming through at Ball Arena, as well as supporting from all around the world, hoping that the Avs can continue to make a strong run in the playoffs. Pete DeBoer, head coach of the Dallas Stars, is 8-0 in Game 7s. In the 8 games that he has ended up in a Game 7 scenario in the playoffs in his entire career. Coaching in the NHL, he has never lost in a Game 7, which is a crazy stat. And we obviously know that Pete DeBoer is a very tenured and successful hockey coach. He beat the Avs recently while coaching for the San Jose Sharks back in a few years ago. And he has done very well in the playoffs and is a very strong coach with a lot of really good insight to add. So it's no surprise that he's able to come through in these clutch scenarios. But nevertheless, Pete DeBoer, 8-0 in Game 7 scenarios. And on the other side of things, Jared Bednar is 0-3 in Game 7. So Bednar, obviously, in his coaching career, has only seen 0-3, only seen 3 Game 7s. But Pete DeBoer, he is hard to beat in Game 7, which is very, very clear. And another interesting statistic to look at there, 2 of these Game 7s that we're looking at were head-to-heads, meaning that these 2 coaches were specifically facing each other. We mentioned that Pete DeBoer played against Jared Bednar and the Avs a few years back when the Avs played the Sharks in a Game 7 scenario, as well as when the Avs lost to the Dallas Stars in the bubble round of the 2020 COVID year. So Jared Bednar has lost twice out of his 3 Game 7 losses to Pete DeBoer, as well as another one. So Jared Bednar looking for his first Game 7 victory, and Pete DeBoer looking to continue his insane stat, that is 8-0 in Game 7 scenarios. Another interesting thing to look at is the Colorado Avalanche are 0-6 in their last Game 7s. Colorado has made the playoffs for very much a long time in the last recent years. I think it's something around the lines of like 8 consecutive years that the Avs have made the playoffs. And of course, they made a deep run to the Stanley Cup final and took home Lord Stanley to the Mile High City in 2022, where they took the Lightning down in 6 games and cruised through the Western Conference side of the NHL playoffs. But they have not won a Game 7 in the last 6 Game 7 scenarios that they have faced. The last one to date was against the Seattle Kraken, where they fell to the Kraken in Game 7 of the first round the year after they won the Stanley Cup championship. And since then, they have not been able to win a Game 7 since then. So in my personal opinion, what all this points to is that all signs show the Avs are well overdue for a Game 7 victory. Take a look at all these statistics we've been looking at here. Pete DeBoer, 8-0, has not lost a Game 7. He is due to lose one at some point. Jared Bednar, 0-3 in Game 7 scenarios. He's a very educated and tenured coach with the Colorado Avalanche. He is due to win a Game 7 very soon here, as well as the whole Colorado Avalanche team. The Avs are 0-6 in their last 6 Game 7s in the playoffs. It has been a long time since Colorado, as well as Jared Bednar, have been able to win a Game 7. And this is an amazing scenario where they're hopefully going to be able to do so. The Avs are essentially due for a Game 7 victory, and with the depth that they have in their roster, as well as the hunger in this team to snag this series and continue to blow through the rest of the Western Conference all the way to the Stanley Cup, is absolutely electric. So with Ross Colton getting ready to potentially make a return, and the Avs well overdue for a Game 7 victory, fans are fired up and ready to see this Avs team hopefully advance in the Stanley Cup playoffs this year and continue to show their depth on the ice and thrive the best that they can in this year's Stanley Cup playoffs.